The economic cooperation and post-pandemic recovery will be highlighting the signing of the MOU on creative economy, trade and investment, agriculture, green energy, Mindanao Eastern Indonesia trade and connectivity. For socio-cultural and people-to-people exchanges, persons of Indonesian descent project, the 7,451 Filipinos in Indonesia and the labor cooperation, signing of the MOU on culture. There will be exchange of views on regional and global issues, on the West Philippine Sea, on Ukraine conflict, Myanmar and Asian centrality, and Indonesia's G20 presidency. Maraming pag-uusapan. Do you have any questions? Marlon muna. Tagal na kita hindi nakita eh.
Yung condition status and status po ni Mary Jane on the table.
We can't say officially. It's always an issue. Perhaps it will be broached by both parties, by one or both parties. We'll have to see. I understand since it's a pending issue, it may be inescapable, but we will announce if it is taken up.
Ma'am, konektado po sa tanong ni Marlon yung tanong ko.
Yes po.
Lumihan po yung mga magulang ni Mary Jane through DMW sa Pangulo. Nakarating po ba ito sa Pangulo and may we know what he had to say about it?
We have no information on whether or not it has reached the President, but the President is aware of the issue.
Siguro I ask.
Yes.
Ayan, si Madam.
Kasi the letter, yes, the letter was brought by the family to the DMW Friday afternoon. But I was out of the office. I was attending the 40th anniversary of the POEA at the PICC. So I was able to receive a copy of that letter nung halos maggagabi na on that day. But I was able to transmit that letter to the Department of Foreign Affairs. The DFA and I met last Friday, even before the family came to see us. Secretary Manalo and I met with our undersecretaries at the DFA. He hosted a lunch for Secretary Benny Laguesma and myself. And several items were discussed about bilateral labor talks and other pressing labor issues. And this case was among those discussed. And so by agreement, it will be the Department of Foreign Affairs that will be taking the lead, primarily for two reasons. One, it has the institutional memory and knowledge from the start of the case until today. And second, and I'm pretty sure Secretary Trixie will agree with me on the importance of speaking with one voice on a case that has such very sensitive dimensions as the case of Mary Jane Veloso. So the DMW will defer to the DFA, and I am sure that Secretary Manalo will only be I'm sure that he will be at the appropriate time open to saying more about this case.
Sorry, last na lang po. Para kay Secretary of the pa rin po. Ma'am, ang populasyon ng Pilipino sa Indonesia relatively maliit, 7,500.
To be exact, it's 7,448.
Yeah, that's small in a nation of what, 270 million people. Posible mo kaya isa itong untapped market para sa ating workers, and is this something that we intend to pursue to generate employment for Filipinos?
Actually, they are also a labor deploying country. So in fact, in some destination countries, gaganyanan yung Indonesian migrant workers in terms of bilang. Indonesia, Vietnam, tayo, minsan tayo number 1, minsan sila. So, marami tayong mga shared, marami tayong mga commonalities and mga shared advocacies with Indonesia. Like, I'm very sure they are also in favor of migrant workers' rights and protection. So, doon naman din sa Singapore, doon ang mas malaki talaga ang bilang, nasa 200,000. So ang bilang ng ang population ng Singapore nasa mga 5 million. Ang bilang ng foreign workers sa Singapore ay nasa 1.2 million. So ang butal na 2 million, yun yung actually bilang ng Filipinos doon. Out of that number, nasa 84,000 ang domestic workers natin. So makikita nyo na unlike Saudi Arabia and other countries like Hong Kong, sa Singapore mas lamang pa rin yung mga professionals. Dito naman sa Indonesia, mga professionals talaga and mga skilled na workers.
Salamat po.
We know bakit hindi ko nasama sa itinerary ng Pangulo yung pagbisita kay Mary Jane Veloso, considering that she is already incarcerated here for 12 years?
As Secretary Ople said, for matters that are of this sensitive nature, the President will have to, how do you call this?
We cannot say more.
We cannot say more than that. Whether we cannot even guess as to why, but because it is of such a sensitive nature, then we proceed with deliberation.
Okay. Ma'am, on a separate topic lang po, the DSCA, the Defense Security
Wait, we proceed with deliberation if we proceed at all. So I'm not saying that we're proceeding with anything, but the President is aware of the issue. Beyond that, we cannot discuss.
Okay. Ma'am, on a separate topic, on the DSCA, we will renew it. It's a 1997 agreement that will be renewed only now. When did it expire and bakit ngayon lang po siya mag-renew?
On such a matter, I think we should leave that to the DFA to announce.
Thank you po.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. Kay Sec Toots po. Ma'am, follow-up lang dun sa OFW concerns. Aside po kay Mary Jane, ano po yung common concerns ba ng OFWs dito sa Indonesia? Ano po yung agenda natin for coming here?
Yes, well, unang-una, sorry, ang primary agenda natin talaga is makadaupang palad yung mga OFWs na nandito, ano? Kasi first state visit ni President, and I think it's symbolic na sa unang araw pa lang gusto na niya, ang una niya makamit yung ating OFWs. So it tells a lot about his concern for our workers. And please remember, after the elections, hindi naman pa siya nakaikot para kamustahin sila. So this is the first time. And also, the reason why the DMW in my person was invited, so we can also discuss with the PhilCom leaders the flagship programs of the new department. So on the side, after the President's speech, and also for tomorrow, I will be having coffee with some of the PhilCom leaders just to touch base with them and also solicit their suggestions and listen to their grievances, and hopefully the Department of Migrant Workers would be able to make a difference in several of the reform areas that we need to address. For Singapore naman, the good news is that Facebook Singapore is actually hiring Filipino workers. For the first time, Facebook has requested for accreditation as an employer, which speaks a lot about the excellence of our Filipino IT professionals. And Grab Singapore, another multinational brand, is also keen on hiring from us. And on a third point, there are ongoing talks between the Department of Migrant Workers and the Ministry of Health of Singapore, because the MOH has reached out to us and has expressed their desire to explore ways of recruiting or hiring more of our health workers for employment in Singapore through a possibly hindi pa kasi sarado yung talks and yung pipirmahan namin na document, but possibly through a government-to-government arrangement.
Ma'am, bukod po kay Mary Jane, meron pa po ba tayong kaso ng Filipino workers na tinututukan dito sa Indonesia?
Dito sa Indonesia, siya yung pinaka-urgent. Merong, sa pagkaalam ko, more than 60 death row cases all over the world na yun. But again, the data and the information is with the DFA. Siguro at an appropriate time, pag fully constituted na kami, and then so we would be in a better position to be handling some of these cases, if not all of them.
Thank you, ma'am.
Secretary, regarding yung figure kanina na more than 7,000 Filipinos, obviously they're the documented ones. How about yung undocumented? Mga ilan kaya sila? Do you have any problems related?
It's really difficult kasi madalas they also don't want to go to our embassy kasi nga tatakot sila, baka may repercussions. But we do appeal to our workers who are tourists in terms of documentation but are clandestinely working, in various companies and households worldwide. We appeal to them, please approach our embassy, look for our labor attaché. Let's discuss ways para ma-regularize kayo so that you can be part of the global workforce that the Department of Migrant Workers has been tasked by law to monitor, assist, and develop programs for.
Mas Secretary, on an issue of back home, kasi there are calls for the President to issue a statement seeking support for the wearing of face masks. The doctors are saying, okay, since he was hit by COVID, he would be credible to tell his allies, do not leave the face mask before them. This is what happened in Cebu. So doctors are concerned that, if they leave the face mask before them, makakaroon uli ng mas maraming case. And they're counting on the President na sana siya na yung magsalita para yung kanyang persuasion, iba daw yung dating. What does Malacanang say to that?
Primarily, this is a matter for the DOH, and it will be the DOH who will primarily advise the President on health matters. That being said, we will also have to wait because right now, although the issue is raging, there is intervention by the SILG, the Secretary of Interior and Local Government, and he has asked Cebu to kindly defer their plan. I understand that the response has been that they will not defer. So we will wait first for further action on the part of the Department of the Interior. And so all of that will be taken into consideration by the President.
But in general, can we say that the President is supportive of the face mask mandate?
We'll have to wait for a more definitive statement.
We're now waiting for advice from you.
The President is, okay, what we can say is that he values the opinion of the DOH, but he will likewise listen to everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
ano po ba yung maaasahan ng sambayan ng Pilipino mula po dito sa back-to-back state visit? Yung pangangating bahay ni Pangulong Marcos dito po sa Indonesia and Singapore, and how much po yung inaasahan natin na maaaring investments na makuha po ng William administration from these states?
Well, some of the agreements are for signing. So, but I think the amounts will still have to be either discussed or announced later on. There are others that are for talks. So, diplomatic talks, we will have to see later on kung anong ibubunga nito. Yung sigurado natin, yung pirmahan na.
Hi, Sir Cofre. How did the Filipino community react when they found out that the President will visit them?
Sorry.
Siyempre, excited sila, no? And sabik sila na mapakinggan diretso mula sa ating Pangulo kung ano man yung mensahe. Karamihan sa kanila nanonood ng vlogs ng ating Pangulo. And ang report sa akin ng ating labor attaché sa Singapore, marami talaga nagpaalam sa kanilang mga employers para lang maka-attend. At yun, very high yung moral nila kasi kakaiba din naman. Alam nyo, parang first kiss, first love, first state visit. I mean, this will go down in history in answer also to one of the questions. This will go down in history for the whole of the President's term na his first visit was here in Indonesia. And that says a lot about the kinship, the deep and abiding friendship between the two countries. And then Singapore also. So, yeah, back to back siya, pero I'm sure it will be extremely memorable, and I'm sure maraming magpapa-selfie, matutuwa kasi andyan yung first family, nandyan din. So, yeah.
Marlon Ramos. Pwede po kay Sec 2 or kay Sec 3. Kasi Mary Jane will also called her parents last week. And the parents said she was very sure na pag-bisita dito ni Presidente BBM, makakalaya si Mary Jane. Do you have any idea where the hopes of the family and Mary Jane is coming from? Meron po ba kahit na informal or unofficial na dumalaw kay Mary Jane to check on her condition?
I defer to Sec Ople.
Alam mo, sa aking pananaw, kasi kung magulang ka, laging ang iisipin mo na kung ano yung best na mangyayari. I mean, ibig sabihin, hindi bibitiw ang kahit sino magulang sa pangarap na makapiling ang anak. So, saan ba pinagmumulan saan yung hugot sa ganong pananaw? Hindi namin alam. First time ko narinig na nakatawag si Mary Jane. And alam mo, I think what's important is that we just keep praying. Kasi may diplomatic track, pero meron din divine track. Yung divine track is that of prayers. So, let's just continue to hope and pray with the family. Hindi naman nagtatapos sa visit yung anuman pag-uusapan tungkol kay Mary Jane. Kaya nga, diplomatic track ang ginagamit ng ating Department of Foreign Affairs.
May dala po ba kayong copy ng letter ng family?
Na-turn over ko na.
Hindi po bukod sa PFA, meron po bang copy rin sa OP?
Ang usapan kasi namin ni Secretary Manalo, siya na ang bahala mag-ano. I'm pretty sure naman na mag-uusap sila ni Pangulo.
Thank you. Kat Domingo.
Now, on the memorandum of agreement of cultural cooperation for Press Secretary Trixie, will this translate into
At natunghayan po ninyo ang press briefing ni Secretary Trixie Cruz-Angeles kasama si Migrant Workers Secretary Susan Ople mula sa Indonesia. At yan ang mga balita sa oras na ito. Para sa iba pang updates, i-follow at i-like kami sa aming Facebook at Twitter sa @PTVPH. Ako po si Mela Las Moras. Magandang hapon.